Hello, hello. Today I'm going to be sharing a home makeover marathon. We moved into our home over 2 years ago, and ever since we have done tons of makeovers in a majority of the spaces, including 3 of our boys' bedrooms as well as our living room loft area upstairs. In each of these spaces, we added in tons of functionality, and in each room we designed each space to coordinate with the rest of our home, but also feel custom and just fit the individual style of each of our kids. So in this video, I'm going to be compiling each of these episodes into one super long video so you can pop it up on your TV, tablet, or phone and watch part of our whole house transformation without having to flip onto different videos or search for the next episode. It was so incredible to see the transformation of each room and watch how we were able to customize them to the needs and style of everyone, all on a budget. We have shared so many makeover videos on this channel, so if you haven't seen those, be sure to get caught up. I will have that playlist linked down below, and we also have even more makeovers happening soon, so make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on everything coming this year. I hope this makeover marathon leaves you feeling inspired and excited to look at unfinished rooms in a new light, and I also hope it gets you excited for all the makeovers happening this upcoming year. Now, once you're done watching, I would love to hear which room was your favorite, and without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are in for another makeover. We are upstairs this time in our soon-to-be loft area, like kind of a chill teen room kind of area. If you've been here for a while, previously we have had this room be kind of like a game room / workout area. And I think because it had 2 different purposes and it wasn't fully styled or organized or anything, it just was not an inviting space and we never ended up using it. So we decided to go ahead and make this like a loft area, I guess, with a couch. We actually found this couch on Facebook Marketplace for $120. Such a good deal. We deep cleaned it and everything, and now it's good to go. This is a poof that we've had for years and years, like back when we lived in Georgia. And then I also found this TV stand on Facebook Marketplace as well. And our plan is to put up some TVs in here so we can like game and the boys can game in here. We're also going to be adding a rug, adding curtains. And one of my favorite things, we are going to be getting rid of this huge mirror. I don't really know why it's here, but it's just kind of weird placed on the wall. So we're gonna be taking this down. I bet a lot of you guys can comment down below and make a guess of what we are going to be putting on this wall in place of the mirror. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know what our plan is, let me know in the comments. And if not, then you will be in for a fun surprise. So we have a lot to get done. Of course, we are also going to be painting and getting rid of this blue color and just making it a little bit more neutral, like a really nice neutral backdrop for everything you have planned. Let's go ahead and get into it. I wanna hear you say that you only want me. Okay, so for anyone new here that is unfamiliar with what this space used to look like, I'm just kind of inputting some footage from before, back when we still had it as like a hodgepodge room where we had some workout equipment. We had an old bookshelf in here, also a game table, and we ended up taking all of that out. And then we just had like a clear and open space for a while until we ended up finding these Facebook Marketplace finds, and we just ended up setting them in here, and they've just kind of been sitting in here hanging out by themselves until we were ready to do this makeover. So like I mentioned, we are going to be painting this entire area. We are actually going to be getting rid of this blue color, but before we do that, we wanted to take down the mirror so that we could go ahead and paint behind it, because I don't really know why exactly this mirror was here. We were originally going to keep it for a while back when we were going to use this as like a workout space, but ever since we decided it wasn't like a full-on workout space, it's just been kind of an eyesore, and I'm just super excited to kind of be done with this one. Also, I'm not sure when exactly we're going to get around to this, but that little desk area over in the side of this room, we are going to be doing a DIY makeover on that, and I feel like that's going to be like the cherry on top of this space and just finish it off perfectly. Every day I do, my gut keeps telling me no. You're
just tell my brain, be I don't need your doubt. Nope, I don't need your doubt. Hey, just chill, I got all the time to kill. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. I'm too blessed to give in to any stress. It's only good vibes, good vibes. So when I can pay the rent, I got nothing in my fridge. Got no doubt, yeah, things always turn around. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes.
Once we got the mirror taken down, we went ahead and just started kind of clearing out the room a little bit. We are leaving like the TV stand in the space just because it wasn't too intrusive, but we took out the plant and the couch and all the other things that weren't a huge deal to move, and that way we just had a lot more space to paint and there was no risk of getting paint on any of those things.
Don't not because I'm smiling. I don't need your doubt. Nope, I don't need your doubt. Hey, just
So we are just going to be continuing on using the same like main wall color in here, and it's just Benjamin Moore Pale Oak in Eggshell. And I'm gonna start this process by cutting in while Kat is working on the TV.
I got good vibes, good vibes. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Sing it with me, every little thing is gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Rip a page out of the book, a lot from Sir Bon Jovi, and just take a second, take a breath. Don't worry, just be happy. All you got is a day, don't got a second to waste. You have a mission to listen to the brain you've been given. Now you got a future to take. Yep. Ooh, you ain't failing if you're trying, and ooh, gotta believe the future's brighter. You owe it to yourself to do what only brings you joy. So shut up all that noise. Yep, shut up all that noise. Hey, just chill. I got all the time to kill. Yeah, I got good vibes, good vibes. I'm too blessed to give in to any stress. It's only good vibes, good vibes. So when I can pay the rent, I got nothing in my fridge.
So we're just using Benjamin Moore Pale Oak. Now this is actually the same color that we have as like the base color in our home, and we absolutely love this one because it's kind of like one of those grayish colors. So whether you have some gray furniture and accents, or you kind of lean more towards the tan and brown, it will kind of pull whatever's around it, and it just ends up looking so pretty. But we also wanted this color to be very light and airy, just because there are some areas in our home that doesn't have the absolute best natural light, and so we really want to kind of help that out a little bit, and I just absolutely love it. I have no idea how many rooms I've painted over the years, but I recently challenged myself within the last year or so to learn how to cut in without taping, and honestly, it has saved me hours and hours and hours of time. This is definitely a skill that would not pay off if you like rarely paint, but especially since moving in the house and we've painted like almost every single wall in this house. And then of course with like makeovers that we've done at friends and family's homes, like we paint a lot of walls. And so it's just been such a time saver to go ahead and learn this trick. So of course we are multitasking, and while I was painting and kind of cutting in around the edges, Kyle continued working on the TV installation. He had actually started this process the day before while I was working on some other things around the house, and I think he got the wall cable holders from Best Buy, and that just makes it so everything can go safely through the wall and we don't have like extra cords and everything between the TVs and the entertainment center. I love watching someone paint. I feel like it's so satisfying because it really does give such a huge impact. But actually painting the wall yourself definitely doesn't give that same effect just because it takes so long. Let me know in the comments if you have a guess of how long this ended up taking us to paint the entire room from top to bottom. Finally, I have the first coat on. You can definitely still see the blue, and over here you can still see like that tan square. I don't know, it's gonna be too bright on camera for you to see it, but we will definitely need a second coat. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that is all, but it is looking so different in here. Definitely a lot more modern and upgraded. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting up the second coat on everything, and then I think Kyle is ready to start putting the TVs on their mounts and getting that all set up. We're not gonna put them up on the wall yet because we are still going to do an accent wall on here, and I'll show you in a little bit what that's gonna be.
Read me like a magazine. I don't wanna be made of paper dreams. You always get me out of my head again. Swear I'm just a mess in a pretty dress, but you come and stay.
Great. We finally finished the paint on the main wall, and I feel like that blue wall is actually still reflecting, so it looks like a little blue, but trust me, it is not. Also, you can see we've lost all light outside. It's like 6:30 maybe now, but now we are going to tackle this wall. We are definitely not getting as far along as I was hoping we would get today, but that's okay. We'll get two big things done. We'll get the paint done, and then we'll get the TVs mounted, and then get everything all cleaned up to finish things up tomorrow. But finally, you guys get to see what we are doing with the accent wall. It's a very bold choice, but we're really excited about it.
If I'm gonna be bending over backwards for anyone, it's you. Been the same, thought I'd never change, but you played your way through all my games. Now I'm wrapped up in you, and your denim jacket, you let me have it. You took on all of my sad and made it all feel new. I'm just fine, kissing in your backseat, call you mine, listening to you asleep, think I might need you more than I thought.
So for our accent wall behind the TV area, kind of like the focus wall of the space, we decided to do something a little bit more bold than we typically do, and we ended up going with a black color. So this specific color is Sherwin-Williams Caviar, and this is actually the same color that we have all of our doors painted, or all of our interior doors painted. And we ultimately decided to go this way because, one, I wanted it to be somewhat cohesive with the rest of the house, and so using the same black that we have on our doors kind of ties that all together. And then a few of the reasons that we wanted something so dark is because we wanted to have the TVs kind of blend into the background. That way it doesn't look too crazy having two TVs next to each other in like such an open space. And then the other reason that I wanted something a little bit darker is because I really wanted something to grab your attention and kind of hold your attention on this side of the room and not just make it be a big grayish area. I wanted something to really draw your attention in. And you'll see in just a bit, but it actually makes the space feel a lot more cozy and intimate. And we just ended up loving how it turned out.
Twist and turn to be just what you need. Even though I know you'd never ask me to, I'd bend over backwards for you.
We're falling out, we have reached disaster. Don't know where we're gonna be after. And we do it all again and again and again and again. Again and again and again and again. We're falling down, we faded. But I know that we can save it. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Even if we go a lot and break us down, I know we are Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter.
All right, I know I don't have the whole wall painted or anything. We just have everything kind of edged out. But let me know what you're thinking about this so far. Are you feeling like it's too bold, or are you going with me on it and you're able to see the potential? I feel like Kyle sometimes has told me he struggles with seeing the potential of things. And for me, I feel like I'm pretty good at being able to see how I think something's going to turn out. So this is exactly how I was hoping it would be. And Kyle was just in awe every time. He was like, oh, every time you paint a little more, like I'm able to see the vision, and I just am loving it more and more each time.
Know that we can save it. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Even if we go a lot and break us down, I know we are Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega.
All right, let's chat a little bit about the two TVs. So we did the same thing in our basement in our Utah home. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen that video before. If not, I will have it linked down below. Definitely check it out. Anyway, we did the same thing with having two TVs right next to each other in Utah, and we just loved it so much. And the reason that we do the two TVs next to each other is because Kyle and I both play video games together. And it's really cool because it turns something like gaming, which is typically something you kind of do on your own, into something that you can do together as a couple, as a family, with friends, whatever. Now, I didn't always like gaming. It actually happened several years ago when Kyle was playing a video game and he was struggling with one part, and I was just kind of being silly and like, oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. And it turned out that I was pretty good at it, and I was just like hooked ever since. So we like to play lots of different video games together. We actually do a lot of like at-home date nights because we usually don't ever live next to family, and so finding date nights to do at home is like crucial for us. And that's just been something really fun to do that we've done for years and years and years. But let me know in the comments if you play video games as well. And if so, let me know your favorite ones. And also, if you haven't ever given it a shot, I would urge you to try it, especially, if your spouse or boyfriend or partner or whoever does gaming. it is a lot of fun to be able to do it together. And I feel like it's something that sometimes can divide people if only one person does it. But if you do it together, it can just be a really fun thing to do. Now, when we first started gaming, we used to game in different rooms and we would wear headsets and talk to each other. I feel like that makes it sound so nerdy, but ever since putting the TVs together, it's just been a lot more fun to like make it a little bit more intimate and be able to be right next to each other as we play video games and everything. So anyway, I know it looks a little bit ridiculous having two TVs right next to each other, but it's just been so much fun. We've loved it. And then also our boys are into gaming as well, and so they like to do the same thing with their friends.
My heart, your words have never been wrong. You are my own safety zone. You're solid like a granite stone. It came very sudden today when we moved away from what had been our home since forever. I was scared then, so scared that I would lose you.
All right, it is a new day and we are jumping right into things. As you can see, we have a much more neutral backdrop behind me. That mirror is gone, and we have our moody accent wall in here. So we do still have a lot to get done. We were hoping to get further than we did yesterday, but it just, you know, painting took a lot longer. So today we have, I think, just one piece of furniture to build. We have some curtain rods to make, of course, and then we are going to be doing something special on this wall. So that's gonna be like our biggest project today, and then it's just like, you know, kind of making things come together with little accent pieces and things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We are going to actually start outside. We have to measure our curtain rods, go start prepping those. We also got a rug for this space, and we're going to hopefully help with the corners like not curling up and everything by laying it out in the sun for a little while we do some other things. So first we're gonna start out outside, and then we'll come back in and work our magic.
I don't really need a new friend, so spend your time with me. Looking for someone who can play though, wanna hang with me. I'm not really looking for a friend, so spend your time with me. Looking for someone not afraid to give it all to me. Get next to me, get next to me. All that I want is to get next to you, get next to you. Not asking for much, but it feels like the two of us are golden, are gold, you see. We'll do you good, so take a chance on me. It's magical when you are close, so get closer, babe. We'll do you good, 'cause I am golden, I'm golden. You're not really looking for a friend, so at the top for me. Never thought that loving would be easy, but it's all for free. Won't cost a thing, so it's yours worth the try. Oh, this is the real thing, I'm down if you're down, boy.
The first thing on our list today is to tackle the curtain rods. We have made these DIY curtain rods so many times, and so I don't always go through like the full process with you guys, just because if you've seen a lot of other makeovers, I'm sure you've heard them before. But basically we just get conduit pipes from Home Depot. They are about $10, maybe $11 each, and then we cut it down to size, and we typically like to go about 10 inches to a foot on both sides of the window, and that way it helps make the windows feel even bigger than they are. And then once we have it cut down to size, we just give it some light coats of matte black spray paint, and it completely transforms the look of it, and it ends up looking really high end, even though you only spent like $10 or so. And then I'll show you a little bit later on in the video how we actually attach these rods to the wall, but it's another very budget friendly trick, and it looks really, really nice.
The two of us are golden, are gold, you see. We'll do you good, so take a chance on me. It's magical when you are close, so get closer, babe. We'll do you good, 'cause I am golden, I'm golden. Feels like the two of us are golden, are golden.
Do it. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Are close, so get closer, babe. We'll do you good, 'cause I am gold, I'm golden.
Next, we are just rolling out the rug that we got for the loft area. Now, usually this trick works. We like to lay it out in the middle of the day and just kind of let the sun bake out all of the wrinkles in it. But the sun was not very warm or intense on this day, so it didn't work too well. But especially if you're doing this in the summer on a really hot day, typically this works great. And another trick that Kyle found recently is if you're having issues with your rug being really wrinkled and rolled up on the corners, go ahead and use a handheld fabric steamer and it will work wonders on your rug. Moving back inside, we are building some furniture. So the only furniture that we actually had to build because everything else came from Facebook Marketplace was this arch bookshelf. I found it on Amazon and I love how it looks. It's like very modern and very minimal. There's not a whole lot to it, but we do have some arches down by our kitchen. And so I found myself kind of trying to mimic the arches here and there throughout our house just to kind of tie things together throughout the house. So we have like an arch mirror in our bedroom, and now we have this arched bookshelf in this room, and pretty much anywhere I can find without overdoing it, I will add an arch just because it's a really unique shape, and I love that it adds like some curvature and just some interest into different areas. And as usual, any items that I can link down below, I will have linked for you. And if you see something that you don't see a link for, be sure to comment down below. I read every single comment and do my best to respond to as many as possible, especially if you have a question. So we did the same thing in our Utah home. It's a slightly different like color. We did end up leaving that one for the new owners of our old house. We have just been wanting to find a spot in this house for it because we just love it. It's just such a unique piece, but it does take a bit of time and work to put it up on the wall. So we're not super looking forward to the process, but we'll get to do it together, so it won't be too bad, and it will be totally worth it when we're done.
Brand new street and brand new me. Side by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're in town. I already know. Couple days ago.
So going through comments on last week's video, it was so fun to see where a lot of you are from. So do me a favor and comment below and let me know where you live. And also I would love to hear if you want to add on to that, just something kind of interesting about where you live. I'm sure as we put up the map today, you'll see your country or your state. I just love hearing different things about where everyone lives because everywhere is really so different. Like even if you live in the same country as someone else, the different areas can be so diverse. But anyway, like I mentioned earlier, this is the second time that we've put this world map up on our wall. We had one in our Utah house in our basement and we just loved it so much. But this time, thankfully, it went a lot smoother than it did when we put it up the first time. And we also found out that the company that makes this map actually made some nice improvements that made the process go a lot more smoothly and a lot faster. Like I would say this ended up taking us about an hour from start to finish.
Saw you now. Dreams might turn into something real. Don't you give me that look, take a bow. Already know. Now you gotta go. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm
So getting all the mainland areas kind of up on the wall was definitely the easy part. The toughest part is figuring out the spacing on like where all the islands are at. I feel like it's always a very good geography lesson for me because as you guys heard in the bloopers of our basement makeover video when we did this before, geography is definitely not my strong suit. And so it's good for me to see kind of where all the countries are at.
Truth is falling all around. Feet are solid on the ground. Stars shine their light down. Ready, set, no regrets. The time is now.
Okay, this little guy is actually really cool. This kind of replaces my toothpaste hack, which if you know, you know, but I love my toothpaste hack and Kyle has never, ever, ever been a fan of it. But this is finally one of his things that has actually worked out really well. But this real wood piece was one of my favorite things that we've got. We've actually had it for a long time. We've just been kind of waiting to paint and put it up. But I actually went to a Crate and Barrel. Sometimes I like to kind of walk around and window shop and get some inspiration from them. I have never bought anything there other than this one piece. And that's because they were selling it like on clearance or something because they said it wasn't straight. So I don't know why exactly it was such a good deal, but it was, and we jumped on it, and I'm just so excited for this piece. But let me know in the comments, do you ever walk through like really expensive stores like that just to window shop and get ideas? I don't know. I would love to just shop and buy all my stuff there because it all looks so nice, but I can't justify all the crazy prices. So I get inspiration and kind of go from there. Next on our list is moving back over to the curtains. So here we are working with our little leather straps. So these are 2-inch leather straps from Amazon, and we just cut them to size and then we loop them, and Kyle will just drill a screw right through the middle of them. And that way we just measure exactly where we want them to go on the wall, and then we can screw them right in. And then you just slide the pipes that we painted earlier right into the loop that we just made. And I really love this style of curtain rod so much. It's cool because you can customize it to whatever size window you have. You could also use a wooden dowel or something if you wanted like a different look that way. And each curtain rod costs about $13 to $15. Now pay attention to the coziness and texture and height that these floor to ceiling curtains add to the room. I feel like I'm always amazed at the difference that curtains make. So here I'm just kind of fluffing out the curtains a little bit and making them hang a little bit nicer. And then next we're just starting to take the couch out so that we could easily add in the rug. And I'm kind of surprised we did this, honestly, because I am the kind of person that will make things way harder in order to not add steps in. For example, taking out the couch to add in the rug. Normally, I would just not do that. I would just add the rug in with the couch there, and then I'd have to move the couch a bunch, and it would take a lot longer, but I'd be like, nope, I didn't have to take the couch out. Another example of this is I'll bring in like 30 bags of groceries in one trip. I'll get blisters on my hands. They'll be super sore afterwards, but that way I was able to do it in one trip instead of making just a few trips. Kyle is definitely the other kind of person where he will kind of work smarter, not harder, even if it means he has to add on a few other steps. But let me know in the comments, what kind of person are you? Are you like me, where you will do anything to not take on extra steps? Or are you like Kyle, where you will add in extra steps to make the process go a little bit smoother?
Never stop me from chasing after the way you love me, keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. I keep on running, no, I should've wanted a high.
I still cannot believe that we got this couch for $120 on Facebook Marketplace. I shared all about that in one of our house projects video. We actually have a ton of different things that we've done in our house projects playlist, but that couch really helped us save on our budget and opened us up to be able to do other things in this room that otherwise we wouldn't have done. So if you have a makeover coming up, definitely do not look past Facebook Marketplace.
No, I should've wanted. Keep on pulling right until you're done. I can't get you off my mind. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet.
We are making amazing progress. We have most things done, but we just have like a few little finishing touches to do, like decorating the bookshelf a little bit, maybe adding some throw pillows, and I think, oh, and then I have a plant that I wanted to add in here or add back into here. So we are so close, so let's go ahead and wrap this up.
No, I should've wanted. Keep on pulling right until you're done. I can't get you off my mind. So sweet, yeah.
So I just pulled some decor that we already had, so I didn't have to purchase anything, but I'm just gonna kind of see what we can make work.
Need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like.
So on this bookshelf, I'm just adding in a few functional pieces like our diffuser, and then we have some of the kids' books, and then I also have some decorative items like a vase and some coffee table books, things like that. But it all just kind of works together to give this space a little more interest and also give some personality.
Nothing out there could ever stop me. From chasing after the way you love me. Keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I want is sugar like yes, please. Love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you.
All right, you guys, keep your eyes out for next week's video because we are going to be decorating for Christmas up here in the loft area, in the theater room, and in the boys' bedrooms. And I really love how everything turned out, specifically the loft. It just turned into like this extra cozy, magical, Christmassy area, and you guys are going to love it.
I get a little bit breathless. My thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please?
All right, here is the before and after of this space. This turned into one of my favorite places in the house. It's so inviting and so welcoming, super cozy and intimate. And honestly, when you walk in this room now, it just looks like this is how it always was intended to be. I feel like the before was just such a hodgepodge of, different things, and it wasn't really inviting because there wasn't a clear use of the space. And now it's just like, come in, come sit with me, come hang out and enjoy family time in here. It's just so incredibly welcoming and inviting in here, and I just could not be happier with how everything turned out. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part about this room was. I would love to hear what you loved, and I would also love to hear any things that you would have done differently. Decorating and room transformation is so fun because there's definitely not one right or one wrong way to do it. Like, there's so many different ways to do things and so many different changes you can make. So I always love hearing your guys' feedback and hearing your different ideas. So either way, let me know what you thought.
On the beach with the stars as our lighters, and throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. We fell
This room has been a long time coming, so I'm so grateful we were able to share it with you guys today. I hope when you watch this video, you enjoyed just hanging out with us, and I also hope you got some decorating ideas and inspiration for your own home. If you want to see what our house looked like when we first moved in about a year and a half ago, I'm going to link our empty house tour down in the description box. And then also if you're interested in seeing the other house projects that we've done throughout the house since moving in, I'm going to link our house projects playlist right here, and that has a ton of things that we've done ever since moving into our Arizona home. As always, thank you so much for being here. And if you are not subscribed, I would love for you to join the family and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another makeover. Today we are finally tackling our oldest son's bedroom. We figured it was about time since we've lived in our house for well over a year now. You guys know how that goes. Time just gets away from you. But as you can see, we are starting with a pretty blank slate. We actually painted the walls of his bedroom this off-white color about a month or so after moving in because originally they looked like this. Very girly, very bright, very turquoise, complete with Louis Vuitton logos on the wall. So we have made some progress in the space since moving in, but today we are going to be customizing this to our son Luke's style and interest, which just happens to be football in the NFL Chiefs team. So I'm going to be adding some function into this bedroom and making this a space that represents him, as well as give him a space that he can relax in and enjoy for years to come. And we are doing this all on a budget. As usual, I'm going to be sharing a few tips throughout the video, but to start out, we are going to be painting this back wall to bring some focus into the bed area and also ground the space just a bit.
Nothing out there could ever stop me from chasing after the way you love me. Keeping me up 2 cups of coffee. Baby, you make me feel so lovely. I keep on running, no, I should've wanted I keep on falling right into your thought, I can't get you off my mind. So sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I wanted, sugar like yes, please, love is like candy. Sweet, yeah, I need it from you. Got my hands all on you, sweet. Everything I wanted, sugar like yes, please, love is like candy. Oh, what a rush each time you catch me chasing after the way you love me. Color my life up like confetti.
Let me know if you guessed the color that we are going with in this room. This color that we chose is Hail Navy by Benjamin Moore, and we actually use this color in our theater room upstairs, and I love it because it gives a very subtle color while still keeping things neutral and also very versatile so that we can still kind of play around with decor and not worry so much about clashing with the paint color. If you've been here for a while, you might remember that we also used a very similar color to this in our basement in our Utah home. That one was Bare Poppy Seed, and we loved that one too. It was just slightly different, maybe a little bit less navy color to that one, but we have honestly shared so many different makeovers on this channel. So if you haven't caught yourself up on them all, be sure to check out my makeover playlist. There are lots of different design styles, lots of different room spaces and different homes even. So if you enjoy makeovers, you will definitely want to get all caught up on what we've done over the years. And stay tuned because in just a few days, we will be sharing our middle son's bedroom makeover as well. And then next week, we are sharing our youngest son's bedroom makeovers. They are all going to be totally different from each other, so lots of fun things to come. Be sure you're subscribed if you're not already so you don't miss out. And if you have seen some of the other makeovers, comment below and let me know which of them have been your favorites. All right, Kyle just got back from the store to get like some electrical things. We are making a tiny little bit of progress, but honestly, once I trim everything out, it'll go really fast, especially we're only doing this one wall and the only like tricky parts are just the windows. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish trimming this out, then roll it on. And while I'm doing that, Kyle's going to finish getting things ready to start replacing this fan. This is just like an older fan, so we're actually going to replace it with the same style that we've done throughout the rest of the house. And we are also replacing the chandelier. Finally, the rooms that the boys moved into originally were all girls' rooms, if you remember the video forever ago. But originally it was like a teal color with Louis Vuitton decals on the wall, and they had the chandelier in here, so we haven't messed with the electrical just until we're ready to put the light up. We do have like a really fun light to put in here, and then yeah, the fan, and I'll just continue painting. But this room is like night and day from what it started out when we first moved in. Learning to cut in has saved me hours of time, and it's also saved our budget from not having to buy lots and lots of painter's tape every single time we paint a room, which has honestly been a lot lately. But I also wanted to mention, over the years, we have found it really is worth it to get high quality paint. It will save you a lot of time from not having to do extra coats, and it will also save you money because without having to do extra coats, it's going to save you paint. So a good rule of thumb to keep in mind typically when shopping for paint is that less coverage area a paint can gives you, the thicker the paint is, and typically the higher quality it is. So for example, the paint that we are using is from Benjamin Moore. It has a smaller coverage area, but we only have to put on about 1 to 2 coats, and previous paints that we've used will have a thinner consistency but a larger coverage area. And when we've used those paints, we've ended up having to put on about 3 to 4 coats of paint. Now this is something that definitely varies depending on the paint sheen, the color you're painting over, or the color that you're painting on, but generally speaking, these are just some tips that we've learned. Alright, I got the first coat on, and some of the trim area I have 2 coats on, so we're very, very close to being done painting. Kyle is going to call me. He's going to turn off the electricity, and then we're going to start tackling like the fan and everything while the paint dries.
Alright, so let me know when the lights go off.
Okay. Nope. Oh yeah, that's him. It's off.
Cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
Whenever we do makeovers like these, we always try to look at every aspect of the room and not just focus on like the more obvious ones, but instead we look at things that are going to make a big impact, or like those small details. For example, things like changing out the lighting, changing up this fan that we're doing right here, also changing out door handles, or you know, those little tiny touches. Those are sometimes the things that are going to set your space apart and really make it look very custom. We've definitely done this a few times, so it doesn't typically take us a whole long time to tag team things like this and just knock it out quickly, as long as no unexpected hiccups arise, which, as you know, they always pop up. Like, I do not know if we've done a makeover or other house projects where we haven't had hiccups come up. I feel like it's just inevitable. Something is going to go a little bit wrong and make you spend a lot of extra time doing something so silly. If you're following us over on our vlog channel, the Kyle and Amanda channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about already. But if you don't follow us over there, then stay tuned and you will find out what's been going on shortly. Smile. You're on candy camera.
Candy camera?
Oh yeah, I forget it's called candid camera.
Did you think it was candy camera?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
You're on candy camera.
I never understood it.
Candid.
That's funny, I did forget about that.
You are goofy on manners.
Felix, what are you doing? Just checking out under the cushions or under the quilt? Oh my goodness. So here Kyle is just changing out the light switches to make them a bit more compatible with the new fan, and also he's just kind of rearranging the order. Since we have had new lighting installed in the bedroom since moving in, he's just setting it up in a way that kind of makes more sense for the room. This is not any kind of like crazy electrical work. It's pretty simple, or at least that's what Kyle tells me, but he has done this so many times, so what could go wrong? Alright, it is a few days later. We actually had to cut filming short the other day because when Kyle was putting in the ceiling fan, we ran into a little electrical issue and we got it all sorted out, but Kyle can explain exactly what happened a little bit better than me.
I just want it to be known, not my fault, although I was super worried. So we put 3 new switches in the box here and we put the new fan on, and I go down, I turn the breaker on, and sparks just came flying out of this box. And
one time there was like a puff of like smoke.
Yeah, a puff of smoke and sparks, and then obviously the breaker flipped, and I was like, oh man, like I really screwed up. But what really happened was there's this plastic box, and they put a screw through the back to attach to the wood, and they pinched the cable back there, and the screw went through the middle of the wires. So when I moved the switches around, it just made contact and shorted out the box. So it wasn't my fault, which I'm happy about. And luckily the switches survived and the fan survived.
Yeah.
So we're good to go. But that's what happened here.
We were joking, like we entered the hiccup zone, like the twilight zone, but anytime you do house projects, it's hiccups. And you can't even like expect them. Even when you're looking, like we're expecting a hiccup, but you could never.
Yeah, like we were so careful, made sure we had everything we need, make sure all that stuff, like there's a screw through one of the wires.
Yeah.
Like how would you ever predict that?
Like you rewired the fan, rewired this, you're like, everything is done correctly, I don't know what's going on.
I'm just glad it wasn't my fault. That's all I cared about. I was like, did I do something? I'm not a master electrician, but I can change a switch. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad it wasn't me. It was somebody else, but we didn't, I didn't mess with that at all. That was beyond my, like, I can do basic stuff, but I was like, let's call an electrician, because when you get to sparks flying out of there, then
behind the wall.
Yeah, then I'm done. At that point, we'll call somebody.
Yeah, so originally on day one, we were also planning to take out Luke's gorgeous chandelier that he's been hanging out with for like a year, almost and a half. But once we ran into that electrical issue, we were like, we don't even want to start with like this electricity stuff. And anyway, so we are going to add this little moonlight in. It's super cool. And then we are going to finish everything up. We have some bookshelves to build. We have a desk to build, all the decor and everything, like to kind of style it in here. So we are getting a little bit of a later start today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on into things.
Can't believe I found you, baby. Come alive. Loving you like.
We always tease Luke about this chandelier, asking if he'll miss it when it goes away, and no surprise, he has not missed it yet. But the moonlight ended up being so cool. I will link it down below. We actually ordered it months and months ago, like shortly after moving in. We've just been hanging out with it until we did their makeovers. But I cannot wait for y'all to see how it turns out. Funny story, there ended up being a big hiccup with this moonlight as well. Now, we didn't end up showing that part in this video, but we did vlog about it over on our vlogging channel called Kyle and Amanda, and the vlog channel is also linked down below if you aren't already subscribed over there. But over there, we just share a lot more behind the scenes and more personal things on that channel.
Found you, baby. Come alive. Loving you like.
Gonna wait for sparks. Hey!
And dim it.
Actually, that looks really cool.
Oh, that looks super cool.
Actually, that looks awesome, doesn't it? I think that's awesome.
That's
Look at
super
that.
cool.
Especially at night when it's dark in here.
Yeah, that'll look awesome.
Wow.
I love it.
Actually, that turned out so much better than I thought.
Yeah. All right, now that we finally have the light working, all the electrical is done, the wall is painted, we have some things to build. We're going to be building some bookshelves and a little desk, but we have to go ahead and do like the curtain rod. We have to DIY that, and also like spray paint just a few things. One of the things is going to be their little like doorknob things for their closet door, and then like a couple hooks. So we're gonna go ahead and grab anything that we need to paint so we can get that painted and just kind of let that cure in the sun for a little bit while we are doing other things. Let's head outside.
Be what you wanna be. Do what you wanna do. And if it sets you free, believe in only you. Yesterday is gone. Forget about tomorrow and the ceilings you see right through.
We have been doing our DIY curtain rods for years now, and we've shared it so many times in all of our other makeovers. So if you are not familiar with it, if you're new to the channel and you haven't heard me talk about it, go ahead and check out some of our other makeovers like the Farmhouse Makeover Series or the Rustic Makeover Series or the Boho Makeover Series. Those all are going to have detailed directions on how to do this, but these DIY curtain rods are incredible because you end up with a super sturdy, very high-end looking curtain rod for under $15 each.
Way out, inside a prison view.
If you watch my makeover videos or house projects videos like ever, you know that I love to spray paint things and just give them new life or give them a totally new style or feel. And my biggest tip for spray painting is to do several light coats, and then you want to allow them to dry between each coat. This will help you get full coverage and avoid any drips. Also, in all of the years that I have been spray painting things, this has been my top favorite brand of spray paint. It goes on almost any type of surface and it's super high quality.
No one else can create it. Take your banner and raise it to the sky. Find the moment and make it. Write your headline and raise it to the sky. No one else can create it. Take your banner and raise it to the sky.
It's just squishy.
Will you just not?
Can I just smash it together?
No, please don't. Amanda, please don't smash it.
I can tell it
Amanda,
is the way it's supposed to
Amanda, please don't smash it.
go.
No, you've known the way things go before.
That's the only reason I'm not doing it right now,
Okay.
but it does make sense that this is how it should go.
You're learning, I'm glad.
So here we were just putting together 2 bookshelves that will attach to the wall, and I'm going to put them on either side of the bed. They'll end up acting as side tables, but they'll also bring your eye up, helping the ceiling to feel taller, and it also is going to give him the freedom to change up what he keeps on them as his taste and style may change as he gets older, which I love doing things like that where it really makes these makeovers not just something that's going to last a year or 2, but something that can really grow with him. It just makes things a lot more easy to manage and also keeps it in the budget instead of having to redo things because your child no longer kind of fits into the space that you created for them. And I thought it was a really unique addition to his room instead of just doing the typical side tables next to his bed. And I also just wanted to point out that in this particular bookshelf, I put everything together correctly. And in fact, I almost caught Kyle putting something together backwards. So I am currently trying to coin the phrase pulling a Kyle as meaning messing up on building furniture. He is definitely not going along with it. He still thinks that's more like pulling an Amanda, but I think I'll still give him a hard time about that for a while. We are going to be working on the boys' closets another day, but today I'm just vacuuming out a small area and I'm going to put Luke's old cue organizer in the closet and just give him a little organization in there until we figure out a better solution. And I'm also moving it in the closet to make room in his bedroom for his new desk that we will be building in just a minute. So at the moment, Luke is doing most of his schoolwork at our kitchen table, but as he gets older and gets into higher grades, I know that a desk is going to be very useful for him. And I searched and searched on Facebook Marketplace for one, but all the ones I could find weren't in good shape or they were the price of a new one. So I ended up finding this one at Target when they were having a sale on all of their furniture, and it ended up working out so super great in his bedroom. And this is actually the same desk that I used in my sister's Budget Bo Home Makeover Series, but I just used a different stain color in her room. But I love it so much, and I just love how modern and simple it looks.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head is me and you. Both speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We
Okay, so this area was actually going to have something totally different above the desk. Luke and I had been looking on Etsy months ago for things for his bedroom, and he found a picture that he loved of a few of his favorite Kansas City Chiefs players. But to get it in the size that we were going to need, it was going to be well over $100 just for that one picture. And the thing about that is there's never going to be a separate use for something like that. So instead, I grabbed this canvas from Hobby Lobby that was on sale for about $12, along with a wooden hook that I already had and his Chiefs jersey that we also already had. And I put it on one of Kyle's wooden hangers, and voila, he has perfect decorations above his desk that cost us next to nothing. And the best part is he can now pull his jersey down when he wants to wear it, but when he's not wearing it, it's not just shoved in his closet or in his drawers. Instead, it's being able to add to his room, and it's something that he can look at every day. I just ended up loving this area of his room, and I feel like it ended up turning out better than the other way would have. And I also love that it was done on a tiny budget.
Let's forget about a curfew, 'cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you, both speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna face it, 'cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret.
Alright, we are making a lot of progress. We have big stuff done, but we still need to put up the curtains and decorate, like all in here, of course do the bedding and everything, but everything was everywhere. So I just went through and kind of emptied out the space. Kyle was actually going to work on doorknobs. They're super cool. They're like really meaty. We ordered them off Amazon. They're just really clean, like hardy doorknobs, and they're matte black, so they'll match the ones that we're gonna do in here, but
They're really substantial, like they're
yeah.
really heavy.
It just might end up being a bigger job
just
than
gonna
like
be- yeah.
quickly switching out doorknobs.
Right, it's going to be a fairly big job, so I wonder if we could save that for like a home
Yeah.
projects video or something.
Yeah, we'll
'Cause
probably
it's gonna
do
be a little
that
bigger.
another day. But I am so excited. Like these look, they are so cool looking. I don't know if this is your guys' style, but this is like 100% our style. We
Yeah.
just love like the modern sleek look.
And they're super heavy. Like,
Yeah.
They're really meaty, which will
Right.
be good. All right, well, I'll
So-
put it away. We'll do it another time.
Yeah. It's not gonna be a huge deal. Like they'll still have like the gold, on their handles for now, but the closet will be done. And then this way, if we're not having to like router out the door and all these different things, then we can get everything done tonight.
Yeah, we're just
Fingers
about done.
crossed. Yeah. So to hang up our DIY curtain rod that we cut and painted earlier, you're just going to cut 2 strips of leather, then drill a screw into the top section of it, creating a loop, and then measure where you want them to go. We put ours all the way up to the top of the ceiling, and then we make the curtain rod go about 10 to 12 inches outside of the window frame and then drill it in. And then once your straps are attached to the wall, you just slide the metal pipe into the loops, and now you have a super nice DIY curtain rod on a budget. It is incredible to me what a difference curtains can make, especially when you bring them all the way up to the ceiling. It just makes the room feel so much taller and bigger, and it also just really like kind of softens the space. I love it so much. So now it's like we have a lot of the heavy lifting done. Really, we just need to style these bookshelves and then also go ahead and tackle his bedding. One of the big parts of Luke's shelf decor was some prints that I found on Amazon, as well as some pictures I ordered as digital downloads and printed myself at Walgreens. And then I just stuck them in these $2 frames from Walmart. This is a great budget saving tip when decorating, because if you found these already set up in the store, they would easily be $10 to $15, maybe more depending on the size. But instead, I spent about $10 on all of the frames that I got, plus a few dollars on the digital downloads, and they ended up looking super professional, plus they're more customized than what you would often find at the stores. And another great thing about this is if you're doing something very specific, you can almost always find digital downloads or things like that, where it might be a little bit harder to find those super customized things in store. As I'm starting the decorating process on Luke's new shelves, anything that I knew I wanted in a specific spot, I would start with those first and place those where I wanted them. And then with everything else, I'm just kind of filling in the gaps and placing those items more randomly and just seeing what fits where and what kind of looks right. I also wanted to add in not only decorative items, but also include some functioning pieces. So I'm including his football helmet that he wears each week to games and practices. This way it stores the helmet while also showing it off. He also has a football on display, and that's the football that he plays with his friends, along with more obvious things like an alarm clock and book. But don't overlook adding functional pieces like this as decor. You may be surprised what works as both decorative and functional.
Always cutting through the night. It's a song, it's a note, it's a quiet sigh. Keeps me dancing through the static, everything's alright. I think we were born for it. I think we were born for it. Hey, I think we were born for it. Never felt so at home before. Moved a lot when I was a kid. Hear your footsteps run to the door on the corner where you live. Never wishing I was someone else. We let it all go at midnight. Looking at the stars to find ourselves, full of life, inspired at the same time. It's a star, it's a light, it's a signal fire. It's the sound of your voice cutting through the night. It's a song, it's a note, it's reflected light. Keeps us dancing through the static, and I hear you sigh.
Nope, backwards.
Actually, you were.
I know I was right. That's why I looked at it and said nope, backwards.
I thought you were just joking.
No, I knew I was right. Just thought I'd do it the same way you do it.
Will you say what you wanna say? Will you say what you need to say? Come on, baby, let's go away.
I don't know if this happens to you, but for me, it never fails when we are minutes from finishing a project or a room. It feels like the finish line feels extra far away as I lose steam. But the last things that I wanted to do in Luke's bedroom before the big reveal to Luke was to put the bedding and pillowcases on and then finish it off with freshly vacuumed floors.
Just tell me to stay. So tell me you want me. Tell me to stay, baby.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the rug. I found this rug months ago and I knew I had to snag it and hold on to it for Luke's bedroom. It just looked so cool and totally became like the cherry on top of his bedroom makeover. Oh my gosh, you guys, this bedroom turned out even better than I had envisioned. I love how classy it looks, how simple and functional it is. It completely represents Luke, and I'm so thankful to give him a space that's his, that gives him function that he needs, with the added bonus of it being a space that he can just hang out in and enjoy. And I love that we were able to do it on a small budget. If you look around, we really didn't do anything too crazy, yet it really doesn't feel like the same room that we started with just days before. You guys will have to let me know what your favorite part of his bedroom ended up being. I honestly don't even know if I have a favorite part. Like, I love the bookshelves, but I feel like that's very generalized. I don't know. I just love everything that we did in here. And I feel like all the little details kind of pulled together just to give such a big impact. All right, you guys, enough talking. I can't wait any longer. I have to show you Luke's reaction to his brand new room.
All right, Luke, keep your eyes closed.
Okay, I can't see anything. I promise I'm not peeking.
All right, well, you're okay. Okay, step back. Ready? And open your eyes.
Wait. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, you got the home picture as well. My helmet's up there. Oh, this is awesome. That's crazy. Oh, wait, you have the jersey. Oh, and the desk. I didn't even see that. Yeah, this is awesome. Oh, you have the 15 for my number.
Yep, we love you, bud.
Love you too. That's awesome. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Noah loved it.
I
He said I would be happy with this if it was my room. And you still have your L.
Oh, Luke, did you see this?
Yeah, I did see that. It's a football.
I know, it's,
That's
like,
really cool.
it's so crazy.
What do you think, Liam?
It's fun.
As you can tell, Luke loved his new space, and I wanted to remind you really quickly that we are going to be doing Liam and Noah's bedroom next, so be sure you hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and turn on that bell notification so you can be notified when those videos are released. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this room transformation, and if you want to see other makeovers that we've done over the years, I'm going to put up our makeover playlist on the screen right here so you can click on that and it will take you to all the room makeovers that we've shared here on the channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye guys!
I just
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for a brand new makeover video. Earlier in the week, we shared our oldest son's bedroom makeover with a football theme, but today we are going to be transforming our middle son's bedroom into a gamer bedroom with Minecraft, Roblox, and Pokemon added in. And it turned out to be such a cool kids room. So once again, as you can see, we are starting out with a very messy, very blank slate. Not a whole lot going on in here at the moment, but we have actually changed his room a bit since we first moved in. Just like his brother's bedrooms, he had bright colors originally, pink to be exact. And a month or so after moving in, we took a few days, painted all the rooms this off-white color, and that honestly made all the difference. But today we are going to be totally customizing his bedroom into an area that will make him feel at home in his own little personalized space with all the needed function. And we are going to be doing it all on a small budget. So stay tuned till the end of this video because I can guarantee you will not even recognize this room when we are finished with it. And you'll also get to see his reaction to his new bedroom. And side note, there's going to be a giveaway added into this video, so be sure you get entered for that, but I'll be sharing the details for that a little bit later on in the video. So let's get into it. So to start out, I'm just clearing off his flat surfaces like his cube organizer and his dresser. As you can see, they definitely need some organization help because even though Liam tries to keep his room clean and put away his books and things regularly, if you don't have organization set up, it just is not going to last. So we are definitely going to be tackling that today, but we are also going to be moving his toys into his closet, and Kyle's going to be adding in some DIY shelves and built-ins in there to accommodate that. Now that will not be in today's video, that will be shared in a few weeks, but that will definitely continue to just make this room even more functional for him. For Liam's bedroom, we are going to be completely rearranging his furniture, which will help his room feel a lot more open and functional. So for now, we are just going to be moving both his dresser and the cube organizer completely out of his room so that we have more room to kind of change the lighting and of course paint the accent wall because you guys know we're going to do that. But stay tuned because we aren't just planning to paint an accent wall. This one is going to be super simple, but it will make his room feel a lot more custom and also look more high end. And it's also going to be very easy and stay on budget. All right, so Kyle is going to be taking down the old fan and putting up the new one, the same one that matches in Luke's room. And while he's doing that, I'm actually going to be painting the wall. So we're going to do something a little bit different than we did in Luke's. Here we are actually going to be just painting the bottom section, and we're going to put like a board right here to kind of separate that. And then we're also going to do a little ledge. That way you can put like some books, maybe some little decor pieces, things like that. That's why like we weren't so specific. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like the line's a little wavy, it's not perfect, but this line doesn't actually have to be perfect because we're going to have like a really thick piece of wood right here. And then this is my really precise measurement of how tall his bed is. So anyway, let's get to painting.
Far away, far away. Every moment I was spending on regrets was such a waste, such a waste, such a waste. Looking on the city lights, flashing bright in my eyes. Look up to the sky and I got this relief inside. And there's no need to hide. I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I've been enough.
For Liam's room, we decided on Benjamin Moore Hail Navy. You guys know we love this color, but we opted for this one because it adds a bit of color while still keeping things very neutral and not limiting us on what colors of decor we can incorporate. Because with this color, almost anything will go with it. But we also loved it because it was a bit more mature and moody, so this will be something that he won't be growing out of in a year or two, but instead he can just continue to grow with it and just change out his decor as he gets into like preteen and teen years, which I know will be happening before we know it. I cannot even believe how big our boys have been getting. But speaking of our boys, this is also the same color that we chose for Luke's bedroom, which we shared in Monday's video. So quick shout out for that. If you haven't seen that makeover, be sure to check it out. It is totally different than this one. And I shared a lot of tips in that one that you guys won't be hearing in today's video.
I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I've been enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me. Oh, I need to know how I can make up, not afraid to fall. A parachute behind me. It's a clean slate, got a reason.
I wanted to take a moment and share a quick giveaway with you guys, just a quick way to give back to you guys and say thank you so much for subscribing and hanging out with me week after week. So in this giveaway, we are going to be picking 2 winners to receive a $50 gift card to the store of your choice, or you can opt for cash as well. But all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber to my channel and then like and leave a comment on all 3 boys makeover videos. I will have all of them linked down below to make it easier, along with all of the other info for this giveaway. Also, I did want to mention this giveaway is international, so no matter where you live, you can get entered to win. And one more thing I just wanted to touch on, because there have been some shady things going on lately. There have been some people trying to impersonate me along with a bunch of other YouTubers. So if you win this giveaway, here is what will happen. I will reply to your comment, but be sure that you only see my YouTube channel name with a check mark next to it. And all I will ask is for you to reply back to my comment and then email me with your address so I can send you your prize. There have been people on YouTube that will impersonate YouTube channels and ask you to go to a different app to chat with them, and then they will ask you to pay for shipping and other fees. If someone ever asks you for money, it is absolutely not me. Please do not give them any money or any info. I definitely want to continue doing giveaways for you guys, but I just wanted to give you a little warning on what to look out for, whether it's on my channel or a different YouTube channel. That way you're not going to be scammed. But anyway, like I said, all the info for this giveaway is in the description box below, so get entered and good luck.
And I flip a switch and step into forgetting you. It's something I can't seem to do, even though we were just kids. I close my eyes, I'm waiting for the lightning strike to knock me back to 2005, before you took that cross-country flight, before we said goodbye. I still remember the house now, heart beating out in my chest, and walking up to your front door. I can still see the address. I dialed 235, are you alive?
All right, we have a lot done so far, even though it still kind of feels like we're moving slowly. So Kyle got the fan put in. We have the wall painted, and now Kyle is going to work on the moonlight. We actually talked about this whole ordeal. We know what's happening now, but when we were in Luke's room, like, we just weren't expecting this hiccup. So over on the vlog channel, we have a vlog where we kind of talk more about like what happened. But basically the canopy is not working because it's like way too small to put up.
Yeah, here's the size difference.
Yeah.
This is how big it should be. This is how big
They
we
sent
got.
it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we got like a light kit from World Market. Yeah. And he's just having to change out the canopy. So it's just like one small little step. It's not a huge deal, but it definitely set us back last time when we were in Luke's room because we just were not expecting it. But once we get that done, then we're gonna, I think, start working on the board and the little ledge here.
Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it.
So this moonlight is the same one that we put up in Luke's room, and you guessed it, it's going to be the same one that we're putting up in Noah's bedroom as well. But we just had to find something to replace the chandeliers that were in the rooms previously, and the moons ended up being so super cool, especially when they get turned on in the evening and you can just see the different shadings on the moon. It looks so realistic. But we got them from Amazon months and months ago, and we've just been hanging on to them until we got around to doing their bedroom makeovers. They are just so much fun. We ended up putting a dimmer on them, and now they can just be a little light in the evening, or they can dim low enough at night to serve as a little nightlight. Next, we are just measuring the width of this wall so that we can go ahead and cut the wood for the wall and the DIY shelf that we have planned for this space. So for these wood pieces, I'm just going to be using our sander to smooth them out, and then I'll wipe them down to get rid of any dust and get to staining. Kyle thinks I'm a little nuts, but sanding is so fun to me. I get really excited when I have an opportunity to sand things. But I actually found an amazing piece on Facebook Marketplace recently that needs a little extra love and TLC. So I am going to be refinishing that in an upcoming house projects video, and I cannot wait to bust out my sander and get to work on it. Like I said, I will be sharing that in a future video, so you definitely won't want to miss that one. Kyle came out to help me stain the wood, and it went super fast when we did it with two people. It worked out super nice because I would put the stain on and then he would wipe it off, and we just continued on with that process. This is definitely how we're going to do this from now on. And I also wanted to mention, I love using a water-based stain because it isn't as oily, and it also seems to go on really smooth. It's very forgiving, and it also dries a lot quicker. So if you're new to staining items, I would personally recommend trying out the water-based stains first. It's definitely just a preference, but I really think the water-based is the way to go. So we knew exactly where the bed was going to go, and we mostly knew where we were going to put the dresser, but you guys know that did not stop me from needing to try out all the options, and Kyle loved moving the dresser all around the room. It was probably his favorite part of the whole day. Just kidding. But of course he was a great sport about it, so I am so thankful for that. I don't even know what happened here, but one of the boards was cut perfectly and the other one was way too long. Maybe the tape measure slipped or something, but thankfully it was cut too long and not too short, or we would be heading back to the store for a new piece of wood. Kyle just went downstairs, recut it, and I am happy to share it fit perfectly once it got recut. And honestly, I feel like this is one of the first rooms that we seriously did not have a single hiccup in. We were just both blown away and knocking on wood the entire day. If you saw Luke's makeover earlier in the week, you guys know his was not the same story. So to put up this board, all we did was get it to the height that we wanted, then we leveled it, Kyle located the studs and drilled the wood screws right into the studs. It was so simple to make and to put up, but it just made such a huge impact and really leveled up this wall so much. Also, I forgot to mention, but the size of the board that we put on the wall was a 1x6 and it ended up being the perfect fit. The shelf that we used on top of that piece was a 1x4. And we just placed it on top. He drilled some pilot holes to keep the wood from splitting and then drilled another wood screw every foot or so from the top of the shelf into the top of the board that we had secured on the wall. And that way we just knew it was very secure and stuck onto the wall. But you guys will have to let me know what you think of this custom accent wall, and let me know if you think you would ever do anything like this in your own home. Guys, it is a new day. We finished within minutes of having to go pick up the boys, so that timing worked out perfectly. We do still have a bit to get done today, not a whole ton, but like all the details. Like we basically just have like a nice backdrop going right now. I love how this wall turned out with the board that kind of separates the paint, and then we also have that ledge so we can set like some of his books up there, just some decor pieces, just some interesting things. So that's gonna be really cool. I also want to add some shelves right here. Yesterday I was really going back and forth on if we could still use this dresser, just because it like kind of comes right here and I wasn't sure if it was gonna have like a big enough walkway, but I think it is. It's like borderline too small and also borderline just right. So we are gonna go with it. So I do have a dresser that I had thrifted from Facebook Marketplace, but that was going to take a lot of time for me to like redo it, and I just had not gotten around to it until this point. So we are gonna still keep his dresser, but I do want to add some shelves right above it and add some decor. The only thing that I'm really like kind of stumped on right now though is this wall. I totally believe that having a blank space can be very good. It's just very pleasing to the eye. It's very calming not to have everything have something, but also like this is gonna be Liam's view when he's sitting on his bed. Nothing. Like he'll have these shelves and stuff up there, but I'm wondering if we should put something over here, and I just don't know exactly what that should be. So we are going to go ahead and get started today. We're gonna start by prepping the curtain rod, prepping his door handles on the closet. Oh, and we also have some side tables. Then we'll get into the fun stuff of the decor and things like that. And through that process, I'll decide if we're gonna do anything for this wall, and if so, what. Anyway, we do have a bit to get done, so let's jump into it.
If you wanted me, you just gotta say please.
Once Kyle cut the curtain rod pipe, we started spray painting that along with the closet handles, and it is truly amazing what such a little amount of spray paint can do for old items. These are probably 17-year-old closet handles that definitely looked like it. They were that old, like 90s brass color and very worn. And we just cleaned them up, slapped some spray paint on them, and they looked brand new. And they also made the entire closet door not feel dated and instead way more modern with really minimal effort and basically free since we already had the spray paint on hand and it only took a few sprays of it anyway.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go.
We weren't wasting any time. As soon as we came back inside to let everything dry, we got right to work on building the side tables for Liam's room. These were from Amazon and I believe they were under $100 for the set. And I love that they had a shelf on the bottom, perfect for storing his books, and they also had a drawer on top for any personal items. And as usual, I will have everything I can find linked below in the description box, so be sure to check that out if you see anything you love. And also, if you don't see any link, leave a comment and ask about it, and I can let you know where it's from or any info I have on it. Also, if you're looking for things around the house, I have everything saved on my Like to Know It and also on my Amazon favorites page, both of which are again linked down in that description box.
We are kings of the world, and anywhere it's homebound, we are kings of the world. And tonight is our playground, we are kings of the world, and anywhere it's homebound, we are kings of the world. Follow me away, 'cause we can't stay here. Let yourself go, you got nothing to fear.
All right, the next thing I want to work on are these shelves. So these are actually the same shelves that I used at my sister's house for the Budget Boho Makeover series. I love the shelves. They were super easy to put up. They're super sturdy, but they are like fairly shallow, especially when you just see like you can't put anything right here and you can't put anything over this ridge. And so that kind of created a little bit of a problem, just really limiting what we can actually put on the shelves. But a few of you guys wrote in the comments to flip the shelf over, and it's so brilliant because it gives you that extra space from not having the ridges on top. And then also, like, if something hangs off just a touch, you know, like it might not be the biggest deal, but it's still going to be just as sturdy, and it just gives you that extra space. So I think we are going to probably end up doing that. All right, we are gonna paint them black. I asked Kyle and he was like, yeah, I actually thought they were black already, so that'll be perfect. We'll just go ahead and paint these, and then we have to run a quick errand. I think we're actually gonna vlog for the vlog channel. Then while these are drying, we'll be out, and then when we get back, we should be able to go ahead and put them up.
Lying next to you.
All right, we are back home. We got a few things. We had the extra letters that we were needing for Liam's name, and then we also got a chalkboard. We decided to put a chalkboard up on this wall. We got just some frames from Walmart and Dollar Tree, and then we also got some prints printed out from Walgreens that we'll go ahead and put like as decoration around the room. Now we're doing the curtain rod, right?
Yep, we'll do curtain rod and then...
Yeah, maybe then decorate the shelf and then put the shelves up.
Lying next to you. Feeling something brand new. And I haven't seen you in years, but I know you. Oh, I really missed you. Before when I met you, I never saw. No, I never saw the way that you look now is all I know. Yeah, it's all I know. So forget about the past. You and
We got these letters from Hobby Lobby. Definitely, if you get anything from Hobby Lobby, be sure to get them on the week that they are on half off. I think about every other week the sales flip, so if it's not on sale this week, wait a few days and they should be on sale the following week. That's how we scored these letters for such a good deal. And it also helped out that we already had the L from Liam's bedroom in Utah. We just got IAM to go ahead and finish off his name. So this is a great tip for any bedroom or honestly any area that you want to decorate on a budget. If you go on Etsy, type in what type of print you're looking for. In this case, it was things like gaming, Roblox, Minecraft. Then type in digital download in your search as well, and it will come up with so many different options. These digital downloads cost just a few dollars typically, and you can print them with your own printer or order them like we did through places like Walgreens. And then you have a professional looking print for a fraction of the price. Then you just pop them into any frame. My favorite ones are the simple ones from Walmart for $2 each, especially when you're doing smaller prints. But I also found a different style at Dollar Tree for Liam's room, and I really loved the size of them. They were just slightly bigger than an 8x10, but they were matted down, so an 8x10 still fit in them beautifully. This is just more proof that a custom bedroom truly does not have to cost a fortune. You just have to get creative with things. Once we got the new shelves on the wall, I just started styling them with some simple gaming items, like this Game On sign from Hobby Lobby, as well as some coffee table books, but ones with his interest in mind. Coffee table books are always great additions because they are practical in the way that they can be taken down and looked through, but the covers also serve as art and add interest into the room. And really, you can find them in all different categories, so no matter your interest, you can typically find one that kind of fits your space. Then I also added in some little stuffies and a ball that we found that reminded us of a Pokeball from Pokemon, which Liam also loves. Next up was to tackle that blank wall that I was talking about earlier. We ended up deciding on a chalkboard that we found from Michael's, and that way it kept the wall very simple and not too busy, but it also gave him an area that he could leave notes on or draw on and just be creative with it in whatever way he wanted. And then we also added in a few of those digital prints that we put in some picture frames earlier, and I loved how this wall turned out.
Knock me off my feet, surrounding all my dreams. And all I know that was left now, the sun and the stars, now leaving me in the dark, leading me through it all. 'Cause you are the fire left in me, you lifted me higher in my heartbeat, taking the fight out in me. You make me strong, I'll carry on with the fire that's left in me. You lifted me higher in my heartbeat, taking the fight out in me. You're taking me higher, 'cause you are the fire that's left in me.
Alright guys, we are on day 3, but it is going to be a very quick day 3 because we don't have a whole lot to get done finally. We have a lot of it all set up. Really, we just have to get the bedding set up. I have some fun little pillows I had ordered. That is actually the biggest reason that we waited until today to finish everything up, just because even though they are a small little touch, I feel like it's going to make a decently big impact. But we have the bedding to get done. I want to style his side tables just slightly and all of his books. I'm planning to put these over here so they're nice and accessible to him. And then I also want to add something really special just on his chalkboard before we do the reveal. So we don't have a whole lot to get done, but Liam is also going to be home from his friend's birthday party really soon, so we want to get this done before he gets back so we can go ahead and finally show him his new bedroom.
Fired all of the bullets. Yeah, you shot me through the heart. Casting dice and roulette. The game was set right from the start. I don't wanna go, I don't wanna know, I don't want it anymore. I don't wanna go, don't wanna know, but I keep coming back for more. Crashing down in the rain, all things are burning up in flames. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder. Crashing down in the rain.
So for the boys' bedding, I always opt for quilts, not duvet covers and not even comforters, because quilts are just the perfect all-season bedding. They're warm enough, but they're not too hot. They are also very easy for kids to manage and make their own bed, and they're also perfect just to toss in the washing machine when they need a good wash, because in a kid's room, function is the most important for sure. But this particular quilt is really neat because it's actually double-sided, so if he gets tired of this pattern, we can flip it and give it a totally different look. And I ended up finding all of the boys' quilts on Amazon for around $40.
All things are burning up in flames. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder. Crashing down in the rain. Our love will never be the same. We're going under, bang bang like thunder, bang bang like thunder.
I just wanted to add in a few things to his side tables, mostly functional pieces, but mixed in with just a couple simple decorative items to give it a little interest and also add some fun to his nightstands. So the fun things that I added were a lava lamp. It took a while to warm up, but once it did, it looked so cool. And then I also added in a couple of those prints that we stuck in the frames earlier.
Flashback to the day that you ran away. You said to see your family, but I ran into you yesterday.
How cool is this lamp that we added in over his dresser? It's really neat because you just plug in the bottom piece and turn it on, and then as you add the other pieces, they magically get power and turn on as well. And you can move the pieces all around. They don't have to be any specific order. You can just customize it however you want. So, so cool.
But I consistently think about you. Think about you. I know you're keeping secrets, hoping that I won't see this. But for whatever reason, I think I like it. Feels like there's something missing. At least it's something different, and I can't help this feeling. I think I like it.
This was just a very small part of the room, but honestly, it was one of my favorite things because I loved being able to find a good spot for Liam's chapter books that he reads. We always find him curled up on the chair or a couch reading his favorite books, but he really hasn't had a good spot to store them in his room until now.
I never guessed that we could get this far. Well, honestly, I really don't know where we are. And would it be less fun if it was less bizarre? 'Cause we never saw it coming. Should have been so easy, but I feel incomplete thinking about you. Yeah. And I would just let you be, but I consistently think about you. Oh, baby, do you think about it too? I know you're keeping secrets, hoping that I won't see this. But for whatever reason, I think I like it. Feels like there's something missing. At least it's something different, and I can't help this feeling. I think I like it.
All right, the room is finally done. I love how it turned out. It is so him. Just everything is totally him. We are about to let Liam see his room for the first time. He hasn't seen an ounce of this, and I cannot wait to show him. So let's go get Liam.
like that. How could I wanna be anywhere else? Got a heart of gold and a soul to match. Can measure this moment in a photograph. You look so beautiful, baby. I know you're the love of my life. You changed my world. Yeah, you saved me without even trying.
You guys, I cannot believe this is the same bedroom. Not only does everything have a home and tons of added function, but it also just looks so put together and so custom. It speaks to Liam's personality perfectly, and I don't think I could love it anymore. We rearranged everything, we added new lighting and the fan, gave him a super cool accent wall complete with his name front and center. Then we added those curtains to make the room appear larger and taller, and added in some new shelving, the chalkboard, and all the little decorative details that brought it all together. You guys will have to let me know what you think, and also if you have a favorite makeover between Luke and Liam's new rooms. I know Noah's room is not up yet, but at this point when you're watching this video, we have finished Noah's room and we just have to finish the editing on that video, but that one will be up this coming Monday, and I can tell you it turned out totally different, but just as amazing as Liam and Luke's did. And now, let's see Liam's reaction to his brand new bedroom. Okay, keep your eyes closed. Come in here and open. What do you think?
Can I just?
Go ahead and try that.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
check everything out.
Grab that piece and pull it off.
I was like this. What even is inside this?
That is called a lava lamp. It's warming up right now. You feel it's getting warm? When that gets hot, all this wax will melt and it'll look super cool. You'll see it tonight. It'll look super awesome.
Now you finally have a spot for your books.
Yay! I can finally read them now.
And you have your two side tables.
Yeah.
You're so goofy.
You got a lava lamp?
Yeah.
A lava lamp.
This is my, and also these are all where I keep the books. More books. Mine. Oh.
And look, Liam, we all wrote you something special on your board.
So this is mine. Don't know. What? I made butt face.
Now it's yellow.
I had it. Hey,
You love it, Liam?
get off me. Thank you very much. Get off me, oh.
I'm glad you love it.
You.
I love Mom so much. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Like that.
Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with us today. Don't forget to get entered into that giveaway by subscribing, as well as liking and commenting on all 3 Boys Makeover videos. And if you want to see more home makeovers we have done in not only this house, but also our last house, as well as our friends and families' homes, check out this playlist on the right side of the screen. That will have hours and hours of home makeovers that you will not want to miss out on. And I am so looking forward to hearing what you guys think about Liam's makeover. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight.
Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the 3rd and final makeover video in this mini series where we have completely transformed our 3 boys' bedrooms into a functional and customized space for each of them. And of course, we are doing it on a budget. Today we are going to be working on our youngest son Noah's bedroom, and as you can see, we are starting out with a very blank slate, but they were not always this simple. About a month or so after we moved into our home, we painted each of their bedrooms this simple off-white color because originally they were painted crazy bright colors that really needed to be toned down. Luke's bedroom was aqua, Liam's was pink, and Noah's was purple, complete with a chandelier. So we went ahead and neutralized them a bit and gave them simple function like a dresser and a bed. But today we are going to be giving Noah's bedroom so much added function, as well as customizing it to his style and interest, which just happens to be Star Wars. So let the magic begin.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight.
To start out in Noah's bedroom, we are just clearing off his one surface, which is his dresser, and then we are going to be moving his dresser to the other side of the bedroom because just like Liam's bedroom, we will be rearranging his furniture in here and also be giving him his own unique accent wall. If you saw our vlog last week on our Kyle and Amanda channel, you saw that little sneak peek, but if you didn't see it, we are just jumping right into the accent wall preparation. So for this wall, we are painting the top half black and then leaving the bottom portion this off-white color. And then similar to Liam's bedroom, we are going to be adding a board all the way across the wall to separate the two colors and make it look a bit more custom. And we also have another little addition to this accent wall, but I'll share that in just a bit. But here we are just figuring out the exact height of what we wanted to paint it down to, just so we can get a better idea of where everything's going to lay. All right, we are going to jump right into things. We figured out the tape line of where we want to make like our accent wall. We are going to do similar to what we did on Liam, but we're actually going to add in a stencil on top of the paint, and we're going to be painting the top half. It'll end up kind of looking like Star Wars, or at least I feel like the stencil looks a little Star Warsy. Noah really wanted a dark wall, and because he doesn't have the most lighting in his room, I didn't want to do a full dark wall. So that's why we ended up doing like half dark, half light. But while we're doing that, Kyle is going to go downstairs, shut off the breakers, and he is going to be doing the same thing that we did in the other boys' room. So he's going to replace this fan with the new one. And also, Noah has one of these gorgeous chandeliers as well. So we are going to replace that one with the moonlight, and then I'm going to be painting while he's doing that. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's my ringtone for Kyle. Hello?
No?
What was that?
Hello, is this Amanda?
Okay, everything's off in here.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
Alright, bye-bye.
Love you, bye. So I just wanted to take a minute to share this makeover series giveaway with y'all. So in this series, we are going to be picking 2 winners to receive $50 cash or a $50 gift card to the store of your choice. This is international, so no matter where you live, you can definitely be entered. But all you have to do to be entered is be a subscriber on my channel, because this is a subscriber giveaway. And then go ahead and like and comment on these 3 videos in the series, which I will have all 3 of the boys' bedroom makeover videos linked down below so you can find them easily, along with all of the rest of the info for this giveaway. I am so thankful to be able to give back to you guys, especially during this crazy time in the world, and I am just really so grateful for you guys, and I really hope that you guys know that. But anyway, be sure to enter, and good luck. So this wall originally was going to be fully black with the stencil all the way throughout it, and I was really struggling with insomnia a few weeks ago, and while I couldn't sleep, I just kept thinking an all black wall is going to make his bedroom way too dark, so I really needed to figure out a different option. So around 2 a.m. one night, which is sometimes where the best ideas come from, I made up some bedroom mock-ups and kind of visualized some different options that we had, and that's how we ended up deciding on breaking up the dark wall into a dark and a light side, which kind of works perfectly for the whole Star Wars theme. And then I wanted to just add the stencil only on the top half. But here are the mock-ups that I came up with that one night, just to help me visualize the different options we had. So I would love to hear what you think. Would you guys have opted for the same thing that we went for, or would you have gone in a different direction?
Not thinking twice, and mine is done. Although I know you're all I want. How could I crave something so bad? My sweaty palms reveal a warning I should hear, but I don't care, you drive me mad. can't help myself. You know too well I need you close, can't help myself. Trying to stop the fall under your spell, can't help myself. Trying to stop the fall under your spell, and suddenly I'm by your side. 'Cause I'm out of things to explain how I feel. It's better to enjoy the ride. I feel at home, never alone. My friends are asking me if I've left the planet 'cause I seem high all the time. They think I'm in a film.
It was making me a little bit nervous to paint our off-white walls super black. It was just such a huge difference, and I just kept feeling like I really hope this turns out how I'm expecting, and that way I don't have to repaint these walls, because painting over really dark walls takes a ton of time and a ton of paint. But thankfully the black really ended up looking so cool, and I'm really happy we did end up going with painting only half of the wall dark, just since I feel like painting the whole wall really dark would have made Noah's bedroom a bit too dark and just taken so much of the natural daylight away, since that light wouldn't have been able to bounce off that wall as well.
Your spell, can't help myself.
All right, we have the wall painted. I am going to need to do another coat. Hopefully just one. We did use a different paint brand this time. It was recommended to us. I'm not sure that I like it as much. It just doesn't seem as thick. So I'm curious how fast it's gonna dry. But I am liking the very beginning of this wall. There's a lot more that needs to happen, but I'm liking how it's looking so far. And then Kyle has just been doing some things while I'm painting over here. So he took down the chandelier. He is working on the electrical. No shocks this time.
Hilarious.
But you guys remember it wasn't his fault.
It was not. I literally like 5 minutes ago saw the count on the, it's not my fault, but just, it wasn't my fault. So I just want to make sure everybody knows.
Anyway, so he's working on this electrical box thing, and then while we, yeah, obviously I'm not the electrician in the family at all, but while we let this dry, Kyle's gonna start putting up this fan, or taking down this one, putting up the new fan, and then also soon we'll put up the moon.
Did someone put something in my dream? The world is spinning in my head. When you hold me, it feels so soothing. You're like a story I know so well. Can't help myself.
We have done so many of these makeovers over the year, so at this point we've really learned to multitask as much as possible, and on this day that meant Kyle was working on the fan and the new electrical while I was finishing up painting the second coat of paint. And those little things really do make a huge difference in just how quickly we're able to tackle these sometimes time-consuming projects.
I was just somebody longing for someone to hold me.
So the reasons we wanted to change out the fans in all of the boys' bedrooms to these more modern ones was actually for a few reasons. One was, of course, because they looked much nicer and they fit the aesthetic of the rooms better, but also because I'm sure that these fans were original to the house and they actually didn't run the best. They were pretty loud, they were not always reliable on how well they would work, and in Luke's bedroom, his actually stopped working altogether a bit before his makeover, so it was both an aesthetic and a functional choice to swap out the fans, but either way, we love them.
You've seen all my bad sides, yet nothing that I do
Finally, it was time to put the moonlight up. If you've seen the other makeovers, you know that we put these in all three of the boys' bedrooms, and we just love them so much. But I wanted to wait to put them up until we painted the black on the wall. And while that was a good idea, I totally wasn't thinking that we were still going to need to paint the stencil on the wall, and that would have been way easier to do without the moonlight in the way. But as always, we worked through it and it worked out. All right, it is the next day. We had to cut filming short yesterday because it just started storming outside, and the next step was going to be like prepping the wood, prepping the curtain rod, things like that. I couldn't do the stencil or anything that we're planning to do up here yet because I really wanted the paint to dry and kind of cure overnight. But this is the stencil we're going to be using. There, can you see that? It's gonna look so cool, or at least in my mind it is. I'm really hoping it'll turn out good, but we do not have that stencil paint, so we have to run out and grab that really quick. And then once we get back, we are hoping to get everything done in this room. So we need to do the stencil, do the wood, do the curtain rod. Kyle's going to be building like a little side table for Noah since his bed is going to be moving right here. And then we'll go ahead and like decorate and add all the finishing touches. So there is a lot to get done today, especially because we're hoping to get done by the time Noah gets out of school or like shortly after, so that we can reveal his room to him and he will no longer be kicked out of this space. So let's go ahead and get into it.
I shut my eyes, trying not to speak, pretend that I'm dreaming. I smell your breath, not listening, but I still hear you screaming. One step away till you hear what I'm saying. Sounds like thunder, and the clouds are closing in. You see, I know this, but the last days in real life I've noticed. Losing focus, breaking up from our life as we know it. If someone had told me that I will take off and find something greener.
All right, we are back. We got the paint. We ended up going with this Benjamin Moore Regal Select because it is super thick, and that way hopefully it will kind of minimize the errors. And then we got this like gray color, and we actually got it in a satin, or in their case a pearl finish, but basically satin because this is eggshell, and I'm hoping that it will not bleed through. Here's our cats just interested in what's going on already. So we're gonna go ahead and start. Wish me luck. Pretty nervous about this. This is kind of what we're going for right there. I think that'll look kind of Star Warsy.
I turn my head and hold it high, but it's making me shiver. He's not like you, don't want him to. He's more like the river, growing stronger. When we're alone, there's no you in the picture.
You guys, I was so nervous about this stencil. When I stenciled my sister's guest room in the Budget But Home Makeover series, I ended up using paint markers, and those worked really well. It gave us super clean lines, but it also took a really long time.
And I felt like because the stencil we were using in Noah's bedroom was way more in depth with so many tiny little spots, it just would have taken forever to do that. And also I felt like it wasn't as important to have perfectly clean lines in Noah's bedroom because I was choosing to do a gray paint over the black versus black over straight up white paint. So there was a lot less contrast. And then with that, it gives you a little more wiggle room on imperfections. And then there was also way more randomization in the stencil, whereas my sister's was more of a chevron look and it was way more structured. So for those reasons, I opted to just paint the stencil on, but it also just made me so nervous when I was first starting out on it. You guys will have to let me know if you've ever used a stencil for a wall in your home before, and if so, did you paint it on, or did you use paint markers, or did you do something totally different? Maybe there's another option that I didn't even know about. Either way, let me know if you used a stencil and how you applied it.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light, running tired and broken and scared, but I swear.
All right, that took way longer than, you ever expect, but I love how it looks. It looks so cool. There are a few spots I'm going to just like lightly touch up, but I want to make sure everything has time to really dry. So at this point, we have like 1 hour until the boys get home. So we are going to just keep going on. We have to go prep some of the wood for this wall and also for the side table Kyle's going to build. And then also prep the curtain rod and the closet handles. And then we will start kind of like putting the room together after that. So let's head outside.
Once we got outside, we got everything ready to prep 3 different things. One was our DIY curtain rod, as well as 2 different boards. One was going to be for separating the light and dark sides of Noah's wall, and the other is going to be for a DIY nightstand that we are going to be building. So Kyle pulled up his truck. We measured how long we wanted the curtain rod, which is made from a 3/4 inch metal conduit pipe. Then he just used his tool to cut it down and grind the edges to make it smooth. And once the pipe was cut down and prepped, we moved on to the wood pieces. For those, we just measured the length of Noah's wall and cut the wood down to that. And then for the side table piece, we cut it to the length that we needed and then went ahead and spray painted the pipe a matte black as usual. And we also took this time to go ahead and give those old gold closet handles new life with a brand new coat of paint as well. The next step was to sand the wood down smooth and then give it a coat of stain. And I realized partway through this process that I had changed back into my completely white t-shirt, and I debated going back inside and changing back in my paint shirt, but I decided to live on the edge, play it a little risky, and keep wearing it. And I just tried to be extra careful and keep it clean while I stayed in the wood.
For the staining process, we actually started tag teaming this during our last project in Liam's bedroom, and it worked out so nicely to have me paint on the stain and then Kyle followed right behind, just wiping it off as I went. It's really nice when you can create mini assembly lines to make things go a lot faster and a lot smoother. But here we are just using the water-based stain that I showed you earlier. This is my favorite stain ever. I feel like it's very forgiving and I just love the color and how simple it is to work with.
Let go and let me love again. Let me love again. Let go and let me love. Let go and let me love. Let me love again. Let go and let me love. Let go and let me love. Let me love again. Wanna let go, I wanna lose you. Fall out of love as you're supposed to. This was a phase that I was a mistake, but I can't move on with something in these days. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love again. Let go.
Isn't it amazing what a difference adding this wood piece onto the walls makes? It really adds a natural brightness, which is so helpful with a dark accent wall, and it also gives a very customized look. But the secret is the board only cost us $8.
Let go and let me love, let go and let me love again. Let go and let me love, let go and let me love.
All right, next on the list is building Noah a little side table. So we are actually going to be moving his bed to under this wall, and he just doesn't have a lot of space for a side table, especially if we don't want to like push his bed right up to the wall. We kind of want to give it a little bit of space. So Kyle's just trying to find a stud right here, and then once we do, we ordered these like really heavy duty meaty brackets off of Amazon. So we will figure out where we can put these, like where they'll fit into studs, and then go from there.
Don't care what they say.
So I really didn't want to push Noah's bed right up to the corner, but I also wanted to give him a designated spot for his alarm clock and his watch charger, and there really just wasn't enough room for a traditional nightstand, or at least not one that wouldn't feel bulky or in the way. So this option made it super sleek, and again, it helped us stay in budget just by making it ourselves. I originally had the idea to make a freestanding one that would sit right next to his bed, and then Kyle had the idea to actually put brackets on it and attach it to the wall, and I really loved this just because it made it a lot more permanent, and it also was a lot easier to put it up on the wall than it would be to make legs for it. These DIY curtain rods are the ones that we have been making for years, and we've shared them with you guys so many times in so many different makeovers, but they come together so simply and they are super inexpensive, all while being super sturdy and looking so nice. And as usual, we just push the curtains right up to the ceiling, and that gives the illusion of your room being taller and bigger than it is. And the curtains also add a softness to the space. So we never skip out on curtains when finishing a room, even if they are only being used for looks and not function, like in this room, for example, because we do have the blinds. But you may also notice we did leave a small open space between the corner and the nightstand, and that was very intentional because we wanted the curtains to be able to hang straight down without being pushed out away from the wall because of the nightstand.
So right above Noah's bed, we wanted to add his name in these bulky wood and metal letters that we got from Hobby Lobby, and we love the look of them. They felt so perfect for the space because the metal really tied in with the Star Wars theme and the stencil, and the wood actually tied into some of his furniture as well as the wood on the accent wall right below. And like I said, we did pick these up from Hobby Lobby. If you are new to Hobby Lobby, make sure that you shop their sales. About every other week things go on sale, so chances are if it's not on sale this week, wait a few days and it will go half off next week. Finally, things are really starting to come together now that we have the accent wall done, the curtains and side table all finished, and we are starting to move the bed and dresser to the spots where they're going to stay. We ended up loving the new way that we rearranged his furniture, and it really just ended up making his room feel way more open since you no longer just walked right into his bed when you walked in the bedroom, and it also allowed for a larger floor area for playing since he is still at that very young age where he plays with toys all the time. All right, we are getting so close to being done. The next thing that I wanted to do is actually have like some little bookshelf things right here. Otherwise the space is just so wasted. It's right below the light, and otherwise have like nowhere to really keep his books. So I found these little bookshelves, and then I bought this because I wanted to put it below the bookshelves and then put like some S-hooks so that he could either hang costumes, which he loves, or hats, which he also wears. We were feeling like that would get really cluttered and like crowded over here. So we tested this, and if you place it just perfectly, like they fit just like they're meant to be. So okay, this is upside down, but just imagine this flipped, and on the bottom one we have this connected to the bottom of the bookshelf, and then you can have like the best of both. So you can have still two bookshelves and costume rack or whatever.
It worked out really nice.
Yeah, we're gonna go, and like even the middle, like they just match perfectly. So we're gonna go ahead and put that up and then get like the rest of the decor stuff up.
These are as powerful as love. Allow it. Poison is yet powerful. Allow.
These shelves, as well as the little S-hook bar, was found on Amazon, and they ended up being the perfect height for him to be able to store some books right in his bedroom, and he also has loved having his books easily accessible to him. Now, we still have more books outside of the boys' bedrooms, but I really have loved being able to have a space for all their personal books in each of their rooms, and this spot in the room was otherwise not being used at all, so I really love being able to squeeze function into areas like that. We are getting so close to the end, and that means we are hanging up some of the wooden shelves that will go above his dresser. Now, these are purely for decorating and for looks, but I really love the wooden shelves because it makes it so simple to change out the style of decor that you use in a room. And since he is so young, I want to make this bedroom really something that can be easily changed as he grows with very minimal effort, because today we are putting in a lot of effort and making a lot of changes. So at this time, we are going to be making this a Star Wars theme room, but he's also talked with us about having a Steelers room at some point, And a good example of changing this room up as he grows would be to simply take down the Star Wars decor and put up some Steelers and football items. And we could even go as far as painting the bottom half of his accent wall a yellow color to make that wall yellow and black like the Steelers. But once you start thinking like that, you can realize how easy it can be to transform spaces as long as you set them up this way and not doing something over the top like painting a Star Wars mural on the wall or adding in specialty lighting or getting a decor specific bed like a race car bed. You know what I mean? So instead of doing all of that, we make the shell of the room very neutral and very functional, and we add in the theme that he's interested in very small details. Trust me, if you do it like this, it will save you so much time and money over the years, but you're still going to have that huge impact.
And I know there is no cure. Drowning out the I'm just in it for just the highlight, drift in the highlight. Just the high feel living in the highlight, drift. Just the highlight, twist on the highlight. I'm just in it for just the highlight, drift in the highlight. Just the high feel living in the highlight, drift. Just the highlight, twist on the highlight. I'm just in it for
One of the very last things to do before we finish up is to add his favorite books. So while Noah was patiently waiting outside of his room for us to finish this up, I had him go through all of our books and pick out which ones he really wanted in his bedroom. And even though this really wasn't a huge deal, he was just so excited about it. And that made me really happy that I decided to add these bookshelves in his room.
I'm just in it for just the highlight, drift in the highlight. Just the high feel living in the highlight, drift. Just the highlight, twist on the highlight. I'm just in it for just the highlight, drift in the highlight. Just the high feel living in the highlight, drift. Just the highlight, twist on the highlight. I'm just in it for So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord. And I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize.
I cannot believe this is Noah's bedroom now. It was so simple and plain before and with a very minimal function, but now he has tons of added function with new lighting, bookshelves, a place to put his coats and hats, and even a new nightstand. And of course, there were lots of fun things added into this too, like we added the chalkboard, we added those little Star Wars decor pieces, we added new bedding, and of course, the super custom accent wall. I just love so many of the small details that we added in, but when you bring them all together, that's where the magic happens. I really hope you all have enjoyed this mini series of the boys' new bedroom makeovers. If you haven't seen our other two sons' bedrooms, I will have them linked down below like I mentioned earlier. But I really hope they all gave you some different ideas and left you feeling very inspired to tackle whatever unfinished area you have in your own home. And now that you've hopefully seen all three makeovers, let me know which one is your top favorite. And without further ado, let me show you Noah's new bedroom reveal.
Keep your eyes closed. Keep them closed. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Open them up.
Actually, I really like.
Do you? Okay, go ahead, check it out, see what you can find.
Now, finally! Someone tell me, why do you know?
Yeah.
How did you get that? How did...
And did you notice you have a side table now? Dad built you a side table.
How awesome! Wake up
Right there.
and right there and right here. Wait, if you just touch it, all of it goes
Yeah.
on your finger.
I like this set.
O-A-H.
Yeah. Do you see all these little marks? It looks...
A little bit like Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I really like.
What do you think of your new room, buddy?
I like.
You like it?
Is it your favorite room so far?
Yeah. The favorite thing I mostly like about this is that everyone's sleeping this.
Now you can either put your hats here or you can hang up your costumes.
I'll do it.
Okay.
But the
I
power
like
going
how you
into
guys put books in all the rooms.
Yeah. Then look, when you make noise, it turns off. Hello! Hello!
la 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 la. Wow.
So Noah, what do you think about this room?
I love it.
You do?
Love fall, love the moon. I love the name. I love it. I just love you now. Thank you. No.
You're welcome, buddy. Love you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Oh, I'm glad.
I don't only like it, I love it.
Noah, you have your moon for nightlight too.
I know.
Isn't that awesome?
No, so short as this.
Yeah. Pretty sweet, huh?
I love this.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Noah's reaction made everything worth it. I love how much he loved his new room. He told us so many times for days how thankful he was and how excited he was to have his new room. But once again, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We are so incredibly grateful for you. And before you go, be sure to get entered into that giveaway. It will only be open for a couple more weeks, but there is still time to get entered. And if you're still looking for some more makeover videos, whether you need some new ideas or you just want to watch some different spaces be completely transformed, I'm going to link our makeover playlist right here on the very right side of the screen. So go ahead and tap on that and you will have hours of makeovers at your fingertips. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and I will see you right back here soon for another video. Bye guys.